When I wanted to end my life, I went online, went to the internet to research.
I actually Googled many times how to kill myself.
There were a lot of things on the forums that actually pushed me forward to think about suicide even more.
I did not want things to be traced back to me, and the internet was the perfect place for that.
These are young people who have contemplated suicide. In fact, some of them have even attempted it at least once in their lives. In 2019, we lost more youths between the ages of 10 and 29 to suicide than we did to road accidents. These numbers are upsetting to me, especially since research has shown that people with suicidal thoughts tend to go online for information. So could these tragedies have been prevented? In this episode, I'm hoping to find a solution that can help prevent the tragic loss of lives. This is Josh Isaac Ng, a playful youngster who loves movies and bowling. In February 2018, he tried to kill himself, but doctors managed to save him. He was 20 years old. Josh confessed to his mum that he had been Googling for ways to end his life, and that he had found step-by-step instructions online on how to do it. From then on, his mother monitored him around the clock. But on 25th June 2018, just 4 months after his first attempted suicide, his mother found him dead in their home. When you know that your child managed to access explicit guides on suicides online, how did it make you feel?
I felt very angry because I felt that all this information should not be available to our young people. It can really influence the mind of a suicidal person to actually, make a decision.
In my research for this episode, I could not bring myself to search online for content related to suicide. You've done it before. Can you show me?
So I can show you here. There's one here that's easy steps.
Why would people do that?
There's another one on suicide kits.
What? After his first attempt, how did you monitor his online behavior?
I literally practiced surveillance, diligence, watching him very closely, physically, day and night, to make sure that he was physically safe. But what he did on social media and all that, it was very, very difficult for me because there is no way to physically actually monitor 24/7. It's impossible.
What role do you think tech companies play in detecting high-risk cases and sharing it with authorities and parents?
I feel they probably can do more to mitigate. I'll cite an example here. I was literally quite shocked when I came across something on Instagram last year. It was posted by this 16-year-old girl from Sarawak, and she literally had a poll where she asked which choice she should make with regards to life and death. The response literally made her do it. I wish that the tech companies would have alerted the parents of this girl in order to prevent, the suicide from happening.
My conversation with Jenny got me thinking, what do tech companies do when there are searches or posts suggesting suicidal intent? Well, I reached out to a few of them. Most of them didn't reply, but Facebook did give a written reply. According to Facebook, users can report any post or video that may indicate suicidal intent. Once alerted, the protocol is for Facebook to push support options to the people at risk. In addition to alerts from its community of users, Facebook also depends on its AI algorithm, Think of it as the computer's brain, which can pick out keywords that may indicate self-harm. Facebook will alert the Singapore police force when they believe that there is a possibility of a suicide intent. Apart from alerting the Singapore police, Facebook also removes the offensive posts. Between July 2019 and June this year, Facebook has taken down almost 10 million posts containing violating content, which include suicide and self-injury, even before users reported it.
That's really heartening to know. But I think we can and should do more, considering that worldwide, one life is lost to suicide every 40 seconds.
Someone else in Korea thinks the same way. He feels that online search platforms can also play a part in averting suicides, which is why he has spent 2 months coming up with an alternative response interface to searches relating to suicide. Lucas Che is a user experience designer who was spurred to do so after his own experience on the search engine 2 years ago.
It was in my senior year of college, university, and I was so stressed out from all the workload. I never thought about anything suicidal before, but that day it was just a little too demanding. So for the first time I went on Google, I searched how to kill myself. And the result I got was, "You're not alone. Confidential help is available for free. Call this number to ask for help." And that's something that anyone can say to anyone. It wasn't personal. It was very aloof. I couldn't even begin to imagine how it would have felt to people who are actually on the verge of committing suicide. I think it's going to be a very ineffective way to change their minds.
Were you able to find out how many users actually clicked on the crisis management helpline?
Yes, it was about 6% click rate to a top suicide prevention link that was presented in the search result.
Show me how your design looks.
I wanted to engage the users into the interface first by asking what is bothering them. Any user can relate to at least one of the 5 categories. And then when you hover over it, you'll see other smaller issues that they can further choose from in the next interface. That'll prompt the users to this final page where it gives you a quote that can be motivational or helpful for people who are in that situation. And then it'll be a lived experience of someone who went through something similar, and then a resource or a support system that they can directly reach out to.
This looks like there is a lot more engagement compared to just flashing a helpline,
Right.
for example. Why do you think this is so important in preventing youth suicides?
The people who are most affected by depression and people who complete suicide the most is the age group from as low as 10 to 29. And these are the people who grew up on the internet space. When they have problems, they go online to find answers. So I think by having a display that shows that there are people who care out there online, it's going to be the most accessible way to reach out to people who actually need the help.
I like Lucas's alternative interface, but I think it's still very passive, relying very much on young people to reach out to helplines. I need to find another solution. Something that can send me alerts if my child's online activity suggests suicidal thoughts.
This app detected over 65,000 server self-harm situations with this feature.
I found out that online platforms like Google are relatively passive when suicidal behavior is detected.
I've been thinking, is there a way for youngsters to receive timely intervention, especially when danger is imminent?
2 months ago, Orapan Hongjin Takun and her friends released an app that's intended to be an early prevention tool for people in distress. They wanted to create an easy-to-use platform to connect individuals to peer and counseling support as a first step towards mental wellness. I want to know how effective this app is when it comes to suicide prevention. I'm bringing Sabrina Wee along. She had suffered from depression since the age of 11 and attempted suicide in 2016. She'll be helping me to assess how useful Kara Unmask is in preventing youth suicides. The app is targeted at individuals who struggle with mental health issues. After you download Kara Unmask, you can select a trained volunteer called a Kara friend with whom you feel comfortable in having a one-on-one text chat. There is also a list of therapists from whom you can seek professional help. Sabrina, do you think this app can help?
First of all, it would be, someone to talk to, definitely. I understand that there's also other features like, the journaling and also the community.
Yes.
So it really helps to be an outlet for my own thoughts and feelings.
Most of our volunteer or Kara friends are people who had been through mental health issues before. So they can share lived experience. And if the user decided that they want to talk to a therapist, we click here and we can see if the therapist is doing an in-person session or teletherapy session.
Am I right to say that the app is not specifically designed to detect those who are having suicidal thoughts?
We do build in some algorithm to support that. We are not designed to be a crisis management platform. The main goal for us is to connect users to humans.
What can your algorithm detect?
So we detect suicidal thought or self-harm keywords.
The algorithm can detect keywords that suggest a suicide risk when the user is chatting with the trained volunteer. And when detected, the app triggers an alert that enables the user to call SOS directly.
But youth these days, they're using a whole other language to actually communicate that they're going through negative thoughts and feelings. So for example, on TikTok, there's actually been this trend about how youths are sharing their favorite pasta recipe and even talking about shampoo and conditioner. They've actually been saying all these things to communicate how they themselves feel suicidal. So how is Kara gonna be able to pick up on new trends and new vocabulary like this?
With new trends like this, we need to keep up. The keyword crawler and the algorithm we built need a bit more users and a lot more conversation to happen for us to learn more.
At what point will you pull the trigger and notify the authorities?
When the Kara friends feel like they cannot de-escalate the situation, we can retrieve the user's IP address and notify the authority. And for users who registered with their details, we do ask for emergency contact that we can reach out to in case of an extreme emergency.
Since the app launched, have you had to do that, notify the authorities?
Not yet, but we only launched less than 2 months ago. And at the moment, we are not having a lot of users yet.
So Orapan, it sounds to me like a big challenge for you is actually to increase the number of users so that you can help more people. Sabrina, you've tested the app. What improvements should there be?
When I'm using the app, I feel very lost. There's so many different things I can do. So, for someone who really needs help, I might just give up altogether because I'm just overwhelmed. So I think, maybe something to help guide me would be great.
Okay, sounds good. Next one.
So I actually talked to a friend, right? And I actually tested that feature and I said, I want to kill myself. And then immediately I was told to call SOS. So that was very sudden. Okay. I think there might be a better way to actually bring this up. I was like, oh my gosh, okay, I don't want to call the SOS. That's why I'm talking to you.
I understand, okay.
Yes.
Okay. So Orapan, do you think that we give you, say, 2 weeks, you will be able to work on the 2 points that Sabrina mentioned and also ramp up your efforts to get more users?
We will try our best.
Kara Unmask seems promising. But there are limitations. Kara Unmask only works if those at risk download the app and share their thoughts and feelings on the app. And you have to be 17 years old and above to use the app. See, my kids are younger. If they do display any suicidal behavior online, I certainly would like to know. That's why it's crucial that a parental monitoring tool is available in Singapore. Lester Law is the founder of app development company Sleek Digital. Hi, Lester.
Hi, Dinah.
Good to see you.
This way.
He spent the past week helping me to find a suitable monitoring tool. So, Lester, what did you find?
Actually, there are many apps that can do parental monitoring, but there's only one app, which is Bug, that can send you alert when your child has suicide intentions online. Bug covers more than 30 popular apps and social media platforms and the interactions in there. And they have detected over 65,000 severe self-harm situations with this feature.
So, to use the app, I simply download it, right?
Yes, however, this app is not available in Singapore, it's only available in the US.
I think something like this can help to save a life. Is there any chance that you can help us to develop something along these lines?
It will take some time, but I will. It's a meaningful cause, so I think I will do it.
That is fantastic. I would shake your hands now if I could, but I think for now this will have to do. I've given Lester 1 week to come up with a monitoring tool that can scan various social media sites and alert me if my child expresses self-harm. I'll also be checking in on Orapan. Hello, ladies.
Oh, hi.
So, how are you doing with the app update? On enhancements to Kara Unmask. App developer Lester Law recently helped me identify a parental monitoring tool called Bark. It can send alerts when dangerous online activities such as suicidal intent are detected. Unfortunately, it's only available in the United States. I'm determined to get something similar to Bark for parents like me in Singapore. So I've asked app developer Lester Law to try and code a simple tool. Hey, Lester.
Hi, Dinah.
Good to see you again.
Yes.
How's your progress?
I have come up with a simple app to showcase the notifications being sent to the parents. So, I will key in your phone number here. So I have the child's app installed on my phone. Basically, it will detect whenever your child searches for something suicidal. So for example, I want to die. Whenever your child searches this, he can continue browsing, but there's a notification being sent to that phone.
Here it is. It says, please check your kids' activities, search them, I want to die. Wow, well done, congratulations. How long did you take to do this?
I actually take only 1 day.
Okay, so that seems simple enough. What will it take to create an app that's going to detect activities like social media, SMSs, emails, camera roll?
Detecting all these keywords is the easy part. The biggest challenge is to reach out to MNCs like Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, and get their data on our third-party app. Getting the approval to use the data and notify the parents is the challenge.
I see. So what you're saying is that their willingness to come together to collaborate on this is the biggest challenge, but it is also critical.
Yes. Without this, we cannot build an app like Bug.
How long will it take to develop an app like this?
I think it will take probably 6 to 12 months, but at the same time, I cannot guarantee that we can build it unless we have the approval from all these different platforms.
This is somewhat frustrating. See, developing the tool isn't the issue. The challenge is in getting buy-in from big tech companies like Google and Facebook to allow access to their data. I am not sure how long that is going to take. So in the meantime, we'll have to rely on apps like Kara Unmask. At least it provides a relatively private avenue of emotional support for young people in distress. But the app has its limitations. The last time I met Orapan, I set her a challenge. So Orapan, do you think that we give you, say, 2 weeks, you will be able to work on the 2 points that Sabrina mentioned and also ramp up your efforts to get more users?
It goes to the website.
Oh, so you replace the
Mental health advocate Sabrina Wee has been helping Orapan with the enhancements. Hello, ladies.
Oh, hi.
Good morning. So, how are you doing with the app update?
Very well, actually. We just completed our update. So for the confusion of how the app works, we add a tour here that introduces every function of Kara. And once you click, so you can move on to another function, and we give a description of how each button works. So what do you think?
I thought it was really good. It's a lot more easy to navigate the app right now. So the last time that we caught up, I mentioned that there was this SOS emergency pop-up that was very sudden in the Kara friend chat.
Yeah, we did revise our user experience a little bit. We refined the text, so the notification when it pop up, it reduced in size, so it doesn't feel so aggressive.
That's really good news. We also challenged you to reach out to more people to download the app. How did that go?
So we have emailed a few potential partners. For example, an organization that provide peer listening services and therapists for youth. It hasn't progressed very far.
Why do you think organizations are not so forthcoming about downloading the app?
I think first we are quite new in the market and we need to get more understanding in terms of how the app could supplement their services. So we are keep the conversation open.
Also, I think that a lot of organizations are quite wary of talking or addressing youth suicide, right? Because it's still a very thorny issue in our society.
So this brings me to an all-important question. Do you think an updated app like this can help to prevent youth suicide?
I think it will be able to help youth manage their mental health for sure. But I think when you talk about youth suicide, it's really about being able to normalize a conversation around suicide and mental health as well.
At the end of the day, we believe in our heart that if more people use apps like ours and other mental health apps, the more data we can gather, the more we learn about our users, and the more we can do to prevent suicide.
I started this journey wanting to find out how we can use technology to help prevent youth suicides. Well, I did find a few applications for youths at risks. But more importantly, I also learned that we can do more. So until we find a better solution, we have to do a better job at directing struggling youths to the avenues of support available, whether it's tech or otherwise. And this support has to be sufficient and comprehensive.
I want youths who are facing negative thoughts to remember that they are not alone and that there are a lot of people who feel the same way. They just choose not to express themselves in real life.
By sharing my own experiences, I hope to do my part in eradicating stigma around mental health conversations. And I hope that more youths would step out and talk about their experiences.
It's very important to not just be healthy physically, but also healthy emotionally, spiritually, psychologically as well.
Don't be afraid to ask for help, whether it's from your family, from your friends, or online. There's a lot of support groups out there that can help you.